This screencast is looking at 2.2.1 and 2.2.2 of the cardiovascular system. So starting off with 2.2.1, the composition of blood. The teacher's notes indicate that we need to look at the three different types of constituents of blood. The first being erythrocytes. Erythrocytes are what we would have normally referred to as red blood cells. Our leukocytes, what we would normally have referred to as white blood cells. And then we have our platelets. So they're the solid part of blood. And then we have our liquid part of the blood, which is plasma. So we also need to have a look that blood is also the transport vehicle for electrolytes, proteins, gases, nutrients, waste products and hormones, and we'll have a look at a couple of those a little later on. Within that, we also distinguish the features, functions between our erythrocytes, so red blood cells, our leukocytes, being the white blood cells, and our platelets. So if we have a look at the blood component, again, erythrocytes, red blood cells, and then our leukocytes, white blood cells, we'll see that our red blood cell is the greatest of the solid component and is approximately 45% volume, so that's for the average male. A little bit less, approximately 42% per volume for the average female, whereas our plasma, being the liquid component, about 54% for males, about 57% for females. And we'll see that our white blood cells and platelets make up a very small component, less than 1%. So what do these do? Plasma, which is made up of 90% water, dissolves, transport both organic and inorganic molecules, and 10% of the liquid being dissolved solutes. The dissolved solutes are our electrolytes, and the majority of our electrolytes is sodium, our nutrients, and our organic wastes, our proteins. And here we can have a look at the different types of proteins. One of the things that we will talk about again in energy systems is the free fatty acids in the blood and how they get transported, and it's within this the globulins which transport lipids, fat soluble vitamins. The one thing that isn't mentioned as such in there that is transported within the plasma are some of the hormones. Here looking at the blood cells, so our red blood cells being our erythrocytes, our white blood cells being our leukocytes. Our red blood cells, the main reason or main function for these is to transport oxygen and carbon dioxide. Our white blood cells, as you will be able to see through all of this, look to fight off infection, improve our immunity, protect our body from disease. Our platelets are the major part of the clotting process. So if we cut ourselves, then the platelets help clot form a barrier for protection